Class is back in session, and so is Phoenix Rising. Celebrate the start of the school year on Saturday, August 23rd at 7:30 p.m. as Phoenix Rising takes on Colorado Springs in the back-to-school match. It's a night for students, families, and fans of all ages to come together and kick off the new season in style. Tickets start at just $15. Grab yours now at phxrisingfc.com. New school year, same rising energy.
You got the paint job, but now you need the materials fast. Get free same-day or next-day delivery on select PPG paints from the Home Depot. Now that's a pro move. Save time on store runs and get free delivery on small or large orders of select items. Save energy shopping around with PPG's wide assortment of colors and finishes all in one place. And save money with Pro Extra, where you can get up to 20% off paints, primers, and stains through Paint Rewards. The Home Depot, how pros get more done.
It's time to talk Grizzly.
The air conditioner made specifically for Arizona summers.
Alaskan AC introduced the Grizzly a couple years ago, and the reviews are pouring in.
This one says, I love how quiet it is. I can hardly hear it come on, but I'm always comfortable.
Another person writes, finally an air conditioner that can withstand the desert heat and dust.
This one says, I like its fluffy fur and cute black nose.
Anyway, if it's time to upgrade your AC, you can't do better than the Grizzly.
Only available at Alaskan AC.
People love it.
Like this person who said, we live in an older home and the Grizzly keeps us comfortable in every room.
Or this guy. We live just outside of town and the dust is horrible. Glad we have an AC that can take it.
Or this one. He's so cuddly and has these adorable pads on his paws.
Gary, I think you're on a different webpage.
Gary, I think you're different.
Learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in Phoenix. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Fulton Homes is bringing legendary Fulton quality back to the West Valley. Explore 4 exceptional West Valley locations with more standard features and thousands of ways to personalize your home. Find out why people buy Fulton Homes over and over again. Fulton Homes, you're proud to own, we're proud to build.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
How should we view Corbin Carroll's 2025 season? What do we want to see from the Cardinals this weekend? And yes, let's talk some Phoenix Suns basketball. Welcome in to the Thursday edition of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you for the next 2 hours. We appreciate you joining us here today on the show. Producer Evan is behind the glass, feeling better, ready to take your phone calls. 480-864-1060 is your way to join us on the phones. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream where you can watch the show as well. The Diamondbacks fell last night to the San Diego Padres. Going into the ninth inning, had a 2-1 lead. Kyle Backus, the reliever that gives it up for the Diamondbacks, and they lose another tough one to the San Diego Padres. But since we've entered this post-trade deadline phase of Diamondbacks baseball, it's hard for me to feel one way or another about a win or a loss. Obviously, we'd all like to see the Diamondbacks finish this season strong. We'd all like to see this team win more than they lose. But getting upset about a bullpen meltdown last night feels disingenuous to the way we reacted to the meltdowns at the beginning of the season when this team was trying to compete for a wild card spot, trying to compete for their standing in the National League West. It doesn't feel the same to get all upset about a bullpen meltdown, although another one did happen last night. Just doesn't feel the same. So outside of that, there was one positive thing. Corbin Carroll hit a home run last night, his 23rd of the season, passing his total from last year, which everybody knows was a down year for Corbin Carroll. So that got me thinking, how should we view the season that Corbin Carroll has had up until this point? And so that's where we start today's show.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
Through 98 games played this season for Corbin Carroll, I just mentioned to you, he's got 23 home runs. He's got 56 RBIs, only 14 stolen bases. He's hitting .247 with a .323 on-base percentage, a .546 slugging percentage. Good enough for a 4.3 WAR. That matches the WAR that he had all of last season in 158 games. He's walking less than he did a year ago. He's walking a slightly lesser amount than he did in 2023, the year that he won Rookie of the Year, striking out way more. So how do we view the 2025 season for Corbin Carroll? Because this kind of got lost in the ups and downs of the season. I think it got lost because of the great start that Corbin Carroll had to this year. But there was a lot of pressure on Carroll to get back to the player that he was in 2023 when he won the Rookie of the Year for this team. Because 2024, by any way you want to look at it, was a bad year for Corbin Carroll. We were questioning if he was doing too much to his swing. We were questioning if 2023 was an outlier for Corbin Carroll. Going into this year, there was a question mark around how much you could expect to get from Carroll. Had a better second half than he did first half in 2024, but that second half was nothing like what we saw from him in 2023. Now, again, we took that question, I think, for granted because Carroll got off to such a hot start. That first month plus of the season, he was an MVP candidate with how well he played. But very quickly, our attention turned to the night in and night out of this team blowing leads, losing games that they should have won, and where they stood in the standings. We didn't get that granular with the way Corbin Carroll was playing. So when he hit the home run last night to pass last year's total, it got me down a rabbit hole of looking at the numbers for Corbin Carroll. And while I don't know if you can say that he has returned to the 2023 form, certainly this year has felt better. I know he dealt with that wrist injury, right? That fracture in his wrist that he's technically still dealing with, kind of rushed himself back after 2.5 weeks. There was a great story, azcentral.com, from Nick Picoro that I read this morning that kind of talked about when he first came back, every swing kind of bothered Carroll in some way. And he wasn't hitting the ball as hard because of it. And recently, within the last week or so, he's starting to feel like his swing is getting back to the way that it was before the injury, starting to hit the ball, at least recently, just as hard as he was in the beginning of the season. But I look at a guy that hit for .285 in 2023, had a .362 on-base percentage in 2023, did have 25 home runs, stole 54 bases, walked nearly 9% of the time, struck out less than 20% of the time. And then I see a player this year whose average, comparing it to the Rookie of the Year campaign, went from .285 to .247. An on-base percentage that went from .362 to .323. Now, a slugging percentage that went from .506 to .546. So Corbin Carroll, at least this season, traded a little bit of average, traded a little bit of on-base percentage to hit for more power. Striking out a little bit more, nearly 5% more than he did in 2023. And I know we're starting the program.
I'm a huge nerd.
Getting a little nerdy on everybody, but I think it's important when we look towards the future to ask and answer this question. Is Corbin Carroll back? Now, I have a little bit of a nuanced answer to this. I think Corbin Carroll is back to being somebody who can be in the conversation to win MVP, that can be a bat in the middle of a lineup that can be counted on to hit 20-plus home runs, to drive in 80, 90, 100 runs, can be that chaos creator on the base pass. It's going to give you good defense in right field. I think all of that is what Corbin Carroll is. But he is not the player that he was in 2023. He has made adjustments to his approach. He has made adjustments to his swing that he felt he needed to make after the struggles of 2024. And because of it, he's sacrificing a little bit in the average department. He's maybe swinging at more pitches outside of the zone. And I say maybe. I'm
a huge nerd.
I won't go nerdy on you and tell you, but he is swinging more at pitches outside of the zone than he was the first 2 years of his career. So he's choosing to attack more stuff out of the zone because he's trying to hit the ball harder. He's trying to hit it with a higher launch angle. He's trying to hit for more power. Now, do I think a 247 average is indicative of the new Corbin Carroll? No. He's dealing with that wrist fracture. Do I think Corbin Carroll, the new Corbin Carroll, the 2025 Corbin Carroll, do I think he's more of a 260, 265, maybe a 270 hitter, not the 285 hitter he was in 2023? That does feel a little bit more like where Corbin Carroll is going to settle. He's going to sacrifice some average. He's going to sacrifice some on base. He's going to take less walks because he's looking to do damage. Now, the interesting thing about Corbin Carroll, he's 24 years old. Is he going to make an adjustment again? Is he going to maybe, after this year, getting back to a more base level, is he going to make another adjustment to his swing? Always tweaking. Baseball players are always looking for that edge, always looking for that thing that can make them better. And when you're 24 years old, all of your future is in front of you. You've got another decade plus of Corbin Carroll being one of the best baseball players in the game. So he's going to be making adjustments. Does he make some tweaks that try to get him back to being that high average, high on base, still hitting home runs, but stealing bases, drawing walks? He's striking out nearly 25% of the time, 25% K rate this season. The previous 2 years, it wasn't above 20. Again, sacrificing something. Maybe taking more of those uppercut power swings that we see. For those of you out there that maybe play MLB The Show, you go for the power swing over the contact swing. Corbin Carroll's doing a little bit of that. He's choosing to try to lean into some more power. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And certainly with the subtractions of Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez from this lineup, when you start looking at 2026 and you start looking at 2027, they are going to need to replace that power in some way. And while this wasn't a main part of his game a year ago or 2 years ago, it's now starting to feel like Corbin Carroll could be a 35, 40 home run guy. He's on pace to hit 30 home runs this season, and he missed 2.5 weeks and then has been dealing with this wrist injury. He's been playing hurt since he came back to this lineup. And so that's why I don't say that his 247 average is now the new Corbin Carroll. I think it's somewhere in between what he's doing this year and what he did in 2023. But he is so much better than he was last season. He is so much more comfortable up there at the plate. And to me, that's the most encouraging thing is if there's one good takeaway from the mess that this season has been, and again, it's something that I think we've taken for granted, it's that I think Corbin Carroll is back.
I think when you look at his numbers, he's still posting an almost 870 OPS this year, right? He's leaving the yard more. Do I wish the average was a little bit higher? Sure. I think that in a dream scenario, you would have that average close to 280. But if he's going to lean into hitting homers, if he's going to have to be the main or number 2 run producer on this team, he's going to have to leave the yard 25 to 30 times a year. And if he has to lean into that more, that's just the player he's going to have to be.
It's funny you mention his OPS, and I'll play the drop again.
I'm a huge nerd.
On base plus slugging. So getting on base, drawing those walks, getting hits, slugging those extra base hits, right? Doubles, triples, home runs, putting the ball into the deepest part of the ballpark. It's a combination of those two metrics. His rookie of the year campaign, an 868 OPS. This year, different version of Corbin Carroll, and 869 OPS. He is getting to the same place. He's doing it in a different way. It was, I'm going to take my walks. I'm going to steal 50 bases. I'm going to turn a single into a double instead of just hitting the double. This year, we're hitting more of those doubles. We're hitting more of those home runs. So the 40 points that we've lost in our on-base percentage, we've added it. It's one thing to lose the 40 points in the on-base percentage, but also not have the power. Then we would have a problem. He's selling out for the power and he's not getting it. He's somewhat selling out for the power, but he's delivering. We would easily be talking probably about a 40 home run campaign for Corbin Carroll if he didn't get hurt. Because not only is it the 2.5 weeks that he missed, it's the not being 100% when he got himself back into the lineup right around the All-Star break. He has not been 100% during this last stretch. Still has just surpassed his total from a year ago in home runs with a month and a half left to play. He hit 25 in his rookie season. Well on pace to clear that. It's going to set a career high in home runs. Needs 20 RBIs, 21 RBIs to set a new career high in runs batted in. That's certainly on the table. So he's going to have, in a lot of different statistics, a career year. Hit 30 doubles in 2023. Hit 22 doubles last year. He's got 20 already this season. So it's a little bit of a trade-off that he's doing. And to me, that speaks to the brilliance, the baseball mind that Corbin Carroll is. He didn't get overwhelmed by what happened in 2024. He worked on it in the offseason. He made a swing change. We noticed it at the beginning of the year. We noticed it in spring, and he made a trade-off. Now, does he try to maybe work it back a little bit, keep a little bit of that power, maybe have more of a 520, 530 slug, and then get 20 points back in the on-base column? It's kind of the nerd mathematician in me. How does he get to that 870, 880 OPS? That's the type of player that he is. You just saw a different version of Corbin Carroll this year. And my bet is you'll see a different version of Corbin Carroll next year because he'll always be making those tweaks. He'll always be looking to adjust. But the one good thing from this year is Corbin Carroll got back to being, in a different way, a middle of the lineup, middle of your core bat that you can trust. Whether he's hitting leadoff, he's hitting in the 2 spot, he has been the player that the Diamondbacks have needed him to be from an offensive perspective. A run creator, a run producer, your number 1 or number 2 option in your lineup. Corbin Carroll, after not being that in 2024, got back to being that player this season. So with him hitting his 23rd home run last night, passing last year's total, being well on his way to pass 2023's total, felt like we missed having this conversation throughout the year because we were freaking out about meltdowns and how many games they were back in the standings in the next chunk of time. This many games, how many do they need to win? That we kind of forgot. This year was also about, can Corbin Carroll get back on track? The answer to me is an overwhelming yes. It's just different than maybe the way we expected it to be. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel. You can watch the live stream, the video version of the show over there as well. When we come back, starters, they're going to play this weekend against the Kansas City Chiefs. What do we want to see from the Cardinals this weekend? That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Before you fly, take a trip to your local MVD office or authorized third-party provider with your required documents and get the new AZ Travel ID with the Gold Star for your new driver's license or ID. Starting May 2025, this new AZ Travel ID gets you through TSA security checkpoints. It's quick and easy. Think of it as your license to fly. Learn how to get your new ID at aztravelid.com. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. The Metal Gods, Judas Priest. The godfather of shock rock, Alice Cooper. October 22nd, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater with special guest, Corrosion of Conformity. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Presented by 100.7 KSLX, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
2 years ago, Bobby Carpenter completed treatments for knee pain at QC Kinetics. So we're checking in with the former college and pro football player to see how he's doing.
I've been asked a lot, like, how long does this last? How long does it work? I go, I've had mine for a couple of years and everything feels very good. It feels just as good as it did when I started to turn the corner.
Bobby's an active husband, dad, and business owner. That's why 2 years ago, he heard about QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments, and he knew he could trust them for his chronic knee pain.
And thankfully with QC Kinetics, I was able to go through this, and my activities are the same as it was. I'm able to coach my kids in sports. I can play golf. I can go run.
QC Kinetics patients like Bobby don't miss a beat. No surgery or rehab, just freedom from debilitating joint pain. Ready for lasting relief from joint pain? Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 602-837-PAIN. That's 602-837-PAIN. 602-837-PAIN.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Absolutely nothing worse than trying to play and listen to a broken record or to continue to beat a dead horse. You probably already know exactly where I'm going with this. That's right, to the Dallas Cowboys, America's sideshow, because their carnival barkers are at it again. This time, Stephen Jones is pushing back hard on the rap that the Cowboys drag out their contract negotiations. He says it's just not true. Right, Stephen, what's next? The sky isn't blue? You don't drag out contract negotiations. I'm sure that's news to Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott, and Emmitt Smith. Hell, anybody with half a brain. You don't drag out contract negotiations. That's exactly what you do, exactly who you are, and exactly where you live, and exactly what you're known for above all else. Well, that and not playing in or winning anything that matters for more than 30 years now. But whatever works for you, Steve-a. I'm Jim Rome.
You need parts? O'Reilly has parts. Get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. We mentioned the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. And during the break, John over there asked, so what about the nights Corbin strikes out 3 times in a game? This is what I said. This is what I meant when I said that it's different. There's a trade-off. Instead of those nights where instead of 3 strikeouts, it's 1 strikeout, maybe it's a walk, because he is selling out for a little more power, you're going to have nights like that. When you sell out for power, when you sell out for that uppercut swing, maybe try to drive the ball that's down in the zone, you're going to have a lot of swing and miss. Last year, remember, he had that hole up in his swing where he was striking out a bunch. That's the trade-off. That's the balance that you have to find as a hitter. It's not as easy to say, oh, just don't strike out 3 times in a game. Well, when you change your approach, you change the way you attack a starting pitcher or a reliever, and you're looking for a certain pitch in a certain spot, it becomes your new sweet spot, your new sweet zone. The trade-off is sometimes you're going to have nights where because you're selling out for that, you're going to strike out a little bit more. It just comes with the territory.
That's just what this new version of Corbin Carroll this year has been. It is what it is. It might not be the player that people wanted him to be, but that's the player I believe he's going to be, especially in this new look Diamondbacks in 2026, 2027, where they might need more power.
He struck out 125 times in the Rookie of the Year campaign. He struck out 130 times last year in 2024 where he struggled. So far this year, he has struck out 108 times, and I'm using FanGraphs. I'll play the drop one more time.
I'm a huge nerd.
They project, a bunch of their projections, anywhere from 40 to 42 strikeouts the rest of the way. So he is going to set a career high in strikeouts. He may end the season at 150 strikeouts. Now, he's not one of these power guys that's striking out over 200 times in a season, but there it is. In one statistic, I can show you the trade-off. That's the trade-off for approaching it this way. Are you okay with that? I'm okay with the year that Corbin Carroll has had. Again, I think the average would be better if he didn't have the wrist injury for 2.5 weeks. I wonder if his strikeout numbers would be a little different if he didn't have that injury. So now that I've seen this new and improved Corbin Carroll, I want to see him in a year where he doesn't have a major injury to his wrist that impacts his swing and see what it looks like. And a reminder, he's only 24 years old. A lot of years in front of Corbin Carroll in this sport, on this team, playing for this franchise, playing in front of this fan base. Always love hearing from you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. The Arizona Cardinals will be in action this Saturday, the first preseason game of the year for them. The preseason gets started tonight. Producer Evan, are we going to be watching any of the preseason action tonight?
Yeah, Eagles play tonight.
Oh, that's right. Your team
Eagles,
is in
Bengals,
action.
So I will be tuning into that. Looks like the Bengals starters are going to play the whole first quarter. So I think if I was watching, if the Eagles weren't playing, I would still tune in to see the Bengals starters. So yeah, I'm going to be flipping around watching some preseason ball tonight.
I have a softball practice tonight.
Okay.
I'm not a coach. My fiance is one of the coaches on the team. I go, I support. I'm just there. It gets a little boring, no offense. Because they're out there doing the drills and
it's not a game, right? It's practice. Right. Yeah.
I may pull out the phone, I may pull out the tablet, and I may be watching around the time I'll be at practice, probably the second half of Bengals Eagles. So I may put that on. No Diamondbacks tonight, off day for them.
Not a lot of baseball. There's only 4 games on the slate today.
Raiders Seahawks starting at 7.
That could be interesting.
I mean, it's the Pete Carroll revenge game, right?
That could be interesting. I wonder if any of the starters are going to play on both sides.
That's why you tune in, right? You tune in to find out. Although we don't cover either of those teams, I'm sure their coaches have mentioned whether or not their starters are going to play. But
we can probably find that.
We can probably find that out pretty easily. But the Cardinals will be in action over the weekend on Saturday, a whole host of games on Saturday. They'll welcome the Kansas City Chiefs. And the notable thing in this game is the starters are planning to play for Jonathan Gannon and the Cardinals. And when I teased this segment going into the break, I asked, what do we want to see from the Cardinals this weekend? Now, this would be easy if this was a regular season game. I want to see how this pass rush deals with Patrick Mahomes. I want to see how often they're able to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. I want to see how the offense looks with Kyler Murray, all the continuity, right? You want to see how these are the talking points we would have about this game if it were just a regular season affair. In the week 3, week 4 of the season, the Cardinals are welcoming in the Chiefs. We would talk about it as a nice little early litmus test that while we don't think they're on the Chiefs level, we want to see how they stack up. The segment would be easy. We'd be talking about all of those things in depth. None of those things I can talk about for this game because the starters for both sides are going to play maybe a quarter at most, right? If we took we went to the end of the spectrum where these players played the most they're going to play on Saturday, it would be about a quarter. So what I care about, what I want to see from this team over the weekend, I want to see you get through this game healthy. I know I sound like a broken record on this, but to me, that is importance number 1. During training camp, during these preseason games, I want this squad to remain healthy. Now, I am excited to see some of the youngsters play, some of the rookies play. I'm excited to see Will Johnson, if and when he is out on the field. I would be excited to see Walter Nolan if he was healthy and out there. So I'm excited to see the rookies, the young players that are trying to compete for their spot. They're always hungry. They're playing for something. Just because the result doesn't matter, just because the starters are only playing for maybe at most a quarter, but probably just a couple of series, there is still importance for the players that are trying to make this team, that are trying to be the tight end 3 or the backup offensive lineman. The stuff that you put on tape is going to matter when Jonathan Gannon is making his decisions, and more importantly, when other franchises are making their decisions. Because a player on another team may shake loose that's a better fit than the players you have on your roster. And when you throw on the tape of that player and you see the way they've played in preseason, you may be thinking, man, Cardinals cut that player? I want that guy. Jonathan Gannon, his coaching staff's probably doing the same thing. They'll be watching the tape from other preseason games and going, man, if that guy doesn't win that battle, we want him. So that stuff matters. That stuff is important. Do I need Kyler Murray to go out there and have a 70% completion percentage? Do I need him to lead the team on a touchdown drive? Would that be nice? Sure. Do they have to do it? No. That's why it's always hard for me to get excited for these preseason games, because what am I gauging them on? In the regular season, it's easy. Did you win? Did you lose? How'd you play? Why did you lose? Why did you win? How's that going to lead into the next week? All of those questions feed as the season progresses, right? Kyler Murray's play, we're going to talk about this to start hour number 2 of the program, is going to be overanalyzed by us. Just being honest, every single week. We're going to be looking, watching, going over it with a fine-tooth comb. Am I going to do that with the series that he plays in the preseason? No.
No, and you're not going to see the full offense.
Right. It's going to be a stripped-down, 5-play version on offense. Your defense, it's all going to be vanilla. I saw a quote yesterday from Brian Schottenheimer, the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. By basically, the offense, I think, had a rough practice, or the defense had a rough practice. I think it was the defense, because he said, guys, we're running like 2 coverages. It's like if you went out to play golf and you for every shot, you only used your 7-iron. That's what we're doing. That's what we're going to do over the weekend. We're not going to show too many of the wrinkles that we're working on, because we're not going to give away free information in preseason. So that's why it's hard to take stats and be like, oh, that guy had a really good game. Did he? How much was the other team trying from a coverage perspective? That's why it's hard for me.
Well, I see that, and that is a very fair point. I would like to see, what Marv looks like. Does he look bigger, faster? That's been a big talk in camp. I would like to see how some of the rookies play. I think that's the biggest thing, is how my rookie's going to feel from a speed perspective. How's Will Johnson going to look in a game if he plays? All of those questions are more of what we can be answered on Saturday, or what we can see out of a Saturday's game, rather than, oh, well, what can we get from how Kyler Murray played in his one series? It's more of a, how did they feel, some of the newer guys? How did they fit? How did the rookies feel in the speed of the game? All of those things.
Yeah, this isn't a scenario where you have a first-time head coach. Then the game matters a little bit more. I want to see how you handle some stuff, right? While it's not the be-all, end-all, it is going to teach me a little something. We don't have that. This is a group that has some continuity to it, a lot of continuity to it, especially on the offensive side. But coaching staff-wise, the coordinators are the same. The head coach is the same. So they've been there. They've been around the block. They've done this. So to me, get out of this game healthy, put some good stuff on tape. And to producer Evan's point, how do the young players play? How does Marv look? Does his speed look like it's there, even though he's built up and added on the muscle? Does he still move the same way? Those are the things you're going to look at, not how many catches he had, not how many targets he got, right? We're not going to come in here on Monday and say, Drew Petzing's got to get Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball more. It's not what we're doing. We'll do that in the season. We'll do that the Monday after week 1 if they lose to New Orleans, and it's because Marv's not involved. You betcha that's how we're going to open the show Monday after week 1. We're not doing that on the Monday after the first preseason. But football is back. There's football on my television screen tonight. Could be worse things. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, the Suns flirted with the idea of making a big splash. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. So is the roster set in stone? That's next on the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Stevie Nicks. One special night, October 7th, PHX Arena. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Stevie Nicks live at PHX Arena.
Stay at the heart of it all with a special Cliff Castle room rate starting at just $99 with no resort fees. Less fees mean more ways to choose your next adventure at the gateway to the region's best gaming, entertainment, and natural wonders. And expect service from the heart as well. We think you'll love your stay with us and all the value we provide, starting at just $99 with no added fees. Cliff Castle Casino Hotel, at the heart of it all. Valid Sunday through Thursday. Some restrictions apply. An enterprise of the Yavapai Apache Nation.
How about we get some pizza?
Nah.
Sushi?
No.
I thought you didn't care.
I don't.
Slow cooked.
Tender.
Juicy.
How did they get in our car?
I don't know, but we're going to Del.
Del Taco's new slow-cooked pork carnitas. Authentic spices and salsa roja give it a rich, deep, melt-in-your-mouth flavor. Pork carnitas are here for a limited time, so get some tender, juicy Del Taco today.
Del, yeah. Hi, welcome to IKEA. Hi, I'm in a whirlwind of college prep. Gotcha. We've got affordable solutions to create the perfect college living space. Great. And visit our website to see how verified college students with an IKEA family account can receive a one-time use 15% off coupon. Nice. You guys think of everything. Pretty much. Offer ends 9/30/25. Valid ID required. Discount applied proportionally across items purchased as shown on receipt. See IKEA-USA.com/ready for college for complete terms.
One night, two incredible bands, Fuel. Lit. Ignited We Stand Tour 2025. Saturday, August 23rd, the Edge Pavilion in Laughlin, Nevada. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Fuel and Lit together live. Brought to you by the Edge Pavilion in Laughlin, Nevada.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays, 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
The Phoenix Suns, at least for a little bit there, flirting with the idea of adding Jonathan Kuminga in a trade with the Golden State Warriors. Does feel like with each passing day, we move further and further from that being a possibility, and it always was a remote possibility, considering Golden State this entire time never really gave the inclination that they were interested in moving Kuminga. This was all from the teams that were trying to acquire him, the Kings and Suns most notably in pursuit. So with that on the back burner, it does feel like mostly the Suns are done making moves and their roster is set in stone. So how do we feel about it? And I don't know how else to do this right now until we see this team play games together, until we see how it works on the floor. I'm just looking at the depth chart. I just have it in front of me on my screen. And so this is very much just a vibes thing because Jalen Green's an exciting young player. I think we'd all agree with that. We don't know how he's going to fit with Devin Booker. We don't know how it's going to work with who's going to be the primary ball handler, who's going to get this team set into their offense. There's a lot of new on this team. In fact, when I look at the ESPN depth chart for the Phoenix Suns, 3 of their starting 5 were players that were not here last season. Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks, acquired in the Kevin Durant trade. Mark Williams, acquired from Charlotte on draft night. So 3 of their 5 starters are new. It takes time for that to gel. And, oh, by the way, you have a brand new head coach with what is probably going to be a brand new system. So a lot of new for this team to try to put together this upcoming season. But I look at Colin Gillespie as the backup point guard. I look at a bench unit that can have Grayson Allen, that can have Ryan Dunn, that can have Oso Ighodaro. You have Malawach and Nick Richards as the backup centers. There's a lot to like here on this team. You feel like after last year, wondering how they were going to deal with size, how they were going to solve their rebounding woes. How many times did we come in here after a Suns game and talk about them getting out-rebounded on both ends of the floor, but specifically on the offensive glass? Those second, third, sometimes even fourth chances for an opposition to score the basket because the Suns are unable to grab a defensive rebound. You feel so much better about that going into this season, where your bigs are some combination of Dillon Brooks, Mark Williams, Malawach, Oso, Nick Richards. Those 5 guys down low, securing those rebounds, you feel so much better than what we saw last season. You feel like this team is way more athletic because you'll have more prominent roles for Dunn and Ighodaro. Jalen Green's a younger player. Mark Williams is a younger player. Colin Gillespie is going to find some time. Kobe Brea is a player on a 2-way deal, but's going to have a role for this team. Rasheer Fleming was a guy that the Suns had to target on night 2 of the NBA draft. Went out of their way to move up to make sure that they got him. Why? They wanted to get youthful. They wanted to get more athletic. They wanted to get more energy to their team. They did that. They did everything that they told us they wanted to accomplish this offseason. Is it a playoff-bound team? I don't think so. Because with that youth comes inexperience. With that youth is going to come some silly mistakes. With that youth is going to come some growing pains, some speed bumps along the way. And that doesn't just go for the players. That goes for the coach as well. Jordan Otwell, prepared to be a coach, has a good resume, has a solid resume, but's never done it. Has never been on the sidelines, courtside, as an NBA head coach. There's going to be some mistakes there. There's going to be a learning curve there.
Some growing pains.
Growing pains, speed bumps, however you want to describe it, this team's going to have their fair share of them. See, the difference between this year and last year for me, I can accept those mistakes this year. I can accept those growing pains, those speed bumps, the lack of experience, maybe it taking a little while to find those adjustments. Couldn't have that last year championship caliber coach, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, a veteran-laden team. I can't accept silly mistakes. I can't accept those bad turnovers from a team that's supposed to know better, that's supposed to have already gone through those learning pains, and a coach that should nip those things in the bud once they happen. Once they happen more than once, championship caliber coach should make sure they don't happen a third, fourth, fifth time. Whereas this year, if I'm watching a young player, if I'm watching Rasheer Fleming or Kobe Brea or Ryan Dunn or even Jalen Green to a certain extent, if I see them trying to make a play and it's not the right play, but they're trying to make the big home run play, I can accept that. I can be okay with that because I know where this team's trying to get to, and they have to learn through failure. None of us wanted to learn through failure last year. We expected more. Remember our conversation yesterday? Expectations minus reality equal disappointment. This season for the Suns is setting up to have no expectations. So there's going to be no disappointment. All there is growth potential. Are you going to get frustrated probably at the beginning of the season with a bad turnover or two? Sure. And then I think we'll make the adjustment as fans. We'll make the adjustment watching the team, knowing easy. They're young. They're learning. It's a brand new team that's been put together. Give it some time. And the real question is, at the end of the season, are they better than when they started the season? And if they are, then it's a successful year. They've done all the things they've needed to do.
I really don't see a world where we're talking about a team that got worse throughout the season. Just given the young talent, new coach with the resume that Jordan Knott has, it's going to be hard to see a world where they get worse.
I would agree. I mean, I've been on record. I think they win more games than they did last year. So I think even results-wise, it's going to be more enjoyable than it was a year ago. And they were not very good last year. They were not enjoyable. I think they're going to be more enjoyable to watch for sure. I think they could lose more games, and they will certainly be more enjoyable. I would agree that if they actually had a worse record than they did last year, I still think it would be enjoyable. But I think it's going to be enjoyable, and I think they're going to win more games.
I agree with both of those things.
Because I think if they get off to a better start than maybe we expect, that can kind of motivate them, can kind of be a fuel, light the fire.
Once you see you can do it.
Right. You can kind of speed run a little bit the growth process. You can kind of mature very quickly and say, well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. There's something in front of us here. There's a chance to shock the world. And maybe with an elevation of expectations, they hit that speed bump, or they blow right through it and they grow as a group and they surprise us with the way that they play. Again, I'm not saying playoffs or even the play-in tournament, but that's why I think they can win more games than they did a year ago. One, because last year was so bad. And two, I do think there's going to be a sort of youthful confidence thing that if they play well early, they don't know any better. These young players, they don't know any better. And sometimes what you don't know, and pressure doesn't get to you. And so you can find success in that way. But this roster, pretty set in stone. Down low, the power forward, the 4 spot, the 3 centers that they have, they're set there. They've got a backup point guard. They're going with this Green-Booker combo. This is the roster. This is the team that we're going to get to watch starting in about 2 months. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, wrapping up our number 1 of the show, it is buy or sell, the hottest takes in Sports Talk Radio. Producer Evan has them. I am buying or selling those takes next. It's the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, Shade Scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
Precision Air and Plumbing. If you haven't noticed, the summer's here. The triple digits are settling in, and we know the heat isn't the only thing feeling heavy. Got a tight budget? That's why we're offering new AC units starting at just $99 a month. But that's not it. You could also get up to $3,000 in federal tax credits and rebates. It's never been a better time to upgrade. Beat the heat and budget the stress. Make the precision decision today. Call us at 602-FIX-MY-AC.
Precision decision with Precision Air.
The garage door springs that come standard with most homes don't last. And when they fail, it's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello at A1 Garage Door Service. Our springs are the toughest in the industry, backed by our lifetime warranty. That's right. Fix them once and you're covered for life. Don't risk your family's safety or your peace of mind. Let A1 replace your springs before they become a problem. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one.
A1 from day one.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on being the best at one thing and getting it right every time, which is why every hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken finger meal we serve is made just for you.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Back to wrap up hour number 1 here of the lunch break. Chris Schubert with you. We close up hour number 1 of the show. Little buy or sell. The hottest takes in sports talk radio. Producer Evan puts them together. I will say he was struggling this morning.
I was.
Little writer's block.
Had to do a lap, play a game of pinball.
You did. You without saying anything, you just got up from the morning meeting. You put your laptop down, and I didn't see you for about, 7 or 8 minutes.
I got a good score this morning.
Sometimes you just need to take a step away. I mean, I play a game of pinball before we get on the air almost every day. Just kind of clears the head, right?
It's a reset.
Just a reset, yes. So with that in mind, hopefully that writer's block cleared up and you've got some good takes for buy or sell.
We got 5 good takes today. The Suns will likely make at least one more addition before the start of the season.
I'll sell this one. And I think you mean like a major addition, not just they bring somebody in for camp or something that. I think they're set. I think Jonathan Kuminga represented a opportunity, a chance to be aggressive, because as much in the last segment, I praised where this roster is right now, and I do think this year is going to be exciting. And a lot of that has to do with shifting expectations and not expecting much from the team. So it frees us up to enjoy it more, to enjoy the process. There is still work to be done. This roster isn't perfect. It's not a deep playoff run caliber roster. So that's why they were interested in Jonathan Kuminga. That's why they were looking to improve. But that felt like a unique opportunity that was maybe they thought available to them. So they went for it. I don't think they're going to force something. So no, I think they're settled. I think they're done. Unless something happens. And no, I don't mean Giannis becoming available. The Suns will not be they'll be interested. They will just not be involved in the Giannis sweepstakes.
Suns are set with the roster. Kyler Murray feels more confident than he has ever been.
I'll buy this. We were listening to something during the morning meeting of Kyler, and my immediate reaction to you is he just felt comfortable. And he kind of always has a very comfortable vibe to him. He's always laid back. In some ways, at the beginning of his career, I think people thought he was too laid back. But it just, there does appear to be some type of poise and confidence and just calmness to Kyler Murray that is soothing in some ways, I think, as ahead of this season. Because I think he realizes this is going to be all about the way that he plays. He knows, as the quarterback of a franchise, you're under the microscope. He is doubly under the microscope because this is year 7. And we're going to touch on this when we start hour number 2 of the program. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday to the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals. 28 years old. We share a birthday month, Kyler Murray. Did not know that. This is it. This is last chance saloon for Kyler Murray in Arizona. If there's not a breakthrough this year, they'll move on. We'll be doing an entire offseason of who the next quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals is. And he knows that. And I think he's taking a very calm, coordinated approach to this training camp and understanding I'm just all about business, putting in the work, getting ready for the season.
He has a good idea of what he needs to do this year.
Yep.
Right? The guidelines are pretty clear.
Oh, there's no room for interpretation on what Kyler Murray needs to be this season. Now, we're going to talk about this in hour number 2. I do think there is a disconnect between the fans and Kyler's performance because I don't think Kyler has been as bad over these first 6 years as some think he's been. I think that's more results-oriented, the wins and losses. But there is no room for interpretation. This team's got to win. They've got to be in the postseason.
Will Johnson will finish top 2 in Defensive Rookie of the Year.
You're really not giving me margin for error here.
No.
So he's going to be the runner-up for the Rookie of the Year. Or the winner. It's always hard for a corner to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. And especially when there's an edge rusher that goes inside the top 5. Like, if Abdul Carter has a great year for New York. Now, wait a second. I have a question. And I'm sure I'm not the first person to bring this up. What are we doing with Travis Hunter?
He's a receiver.
What if he plays more corner?
It's
gonna be determined based on where he plays the most, right?
Yes.
This is not the same, but like when Ohtani came to Major League Baseball, we had to change all sorts of rules to figure out how we're gonna award Ohtani. We changed the two-way rule of we created an Ohtani rule so they could stay in the game when he pitches and he's the DH. And so unicorns like that in the sport force you to change the rules. I think he will be eligible for the Rookie of the Year at the position that he plays more. He's listed as, we said this in the NFL news dump earlier this week, he's a starting wide receiver, second-string corner. So as of this moment, I am saying that Travis Hunter more of an offensive Rookie of the Year candidate. Because if he's on the defensive side, I would sell this take. I still think I'm going to sell it. Because pass rushers have the numbers, have the stats that people care about, and I think that there are enough pass rushers, right? Mason Graham could have a really good year. Abdul Carter could have a really good year.
You get a few takeaways, though. You got a real shot at it.
I mean, if you have like 5 or 6 interceptions, sure, that's going to put you in the mix.
You don't need 3 or 4. 5 or 6 is a lot.
Is that going to overcome a rookie that has 10 sacks?
4 takeaways or 10 sacks?
I'll take the 10 sacks from a rookie. There is
I think it'd be close.
I think there is somewhat of an inherent luck to interceptions sometimes and turnovers than there are sacks.
There's an inherent luck to sacks sometimes as well.
Not as much as there is for interceptions.
That's fair.
Ball gets tipped in the air and I get the interception without the ball getting tipped. I don't have a chance for an interception. If I just blow over the right tackle, I get a sack. That's a more of a true indicator of my talent than the interception.
Fair.
But pass breakups, completion percentage against, yeah, you have more control over that kind of stuff.
The NFC West is going to come down to the last game.
It did last year, right?
It did.
And I don't feel like anybody of the 4 teams truly separated themselves to overwhelmingly have a multiple game lead late in the season. I'll buy this take. The NFC West comes down to the last week of the season. Hopefully it includes the Cardinals.
Hopefully it comes down to just Cardinals-Rams.
That game gets flexed to Sunday Night Football if that's the case.
100%.
Prediction here ahead of time. That's the game that gets flexed if it's for the NFC West. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2 right around the corner. Thanks for joining us. It's the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
When you get hurt, you don't want to end up on the injured list. You want to get back in the game stronger than ever. At Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, we fight for you, making sure big insurance doesn't throw you a curveball. With over $25 billion recovered, we're the home run hitters you need.
This is way out there and gone.
Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Proud sponsor of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Footprint Center, September 16th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails, live in Phoenix. Peel It Back World Tour 2025.
Every day, savings, energy efficiency, rebates. Every day at APS, you have ways to save energy and money. We know how important it is to keep your bill as low as possible. That's why we offer programs to help you manage your energy use. Schedule a home energy checkup for savings recommendations tailored to your home. Find rebates on smart thermostats. Compare your rate plan options and switch to the plan that would have saved you the most money. Find ways to save at aps.com/brighter.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Homebuyer. Selling your house right now the traditional way isn't so easy. The average home is taking months to sell. Fortunately, I can help. I'll come to your home and give you a cash offer within minutes. Then we can close in under 5 days. And I'll make sure you get as much money for your house as possible. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today, and let's get your home sold. Visit andrewthehomebuyer.com. That's andrewthehomebuyer.com.
Hey, it's Big Cap from the Pardon My Take podcast. If you're looking for a drink that keeps the fun going without weighing you down, pick up some Truly Hard Seltzer. It's crazy refreshing, comes in tons of different flavors, and has only 100 calories per serving. Truly makes it easy to keep the fun going with your crew, which is exactly why it's the official hard seltzer of Pardon My Take. Whether you're out with friends, hosting a game day at home, or just kicking back, grab a Truly Hard Seltzer. Pick it up at your local Total Wine, Walmart, or Circle K, because there's always a lot of party left, Phoenix.
Jack here. My bonus Jack combo is starting at $3.99. Comes with fries, a drink, and a burger with 1, 2, or 3 patties. It's a meal that'll actually make you happy. Starting at $3.99. Get so much more.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Plus tax. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break. Chris Schubert with you. Thanks for choosing us to spend part of your day with here on a Thursday. Weekend right around the corner. Football is back tonight. Preseason week 1. I know we had the Hall of Fame game last week, but 3 football games on tonight. Bunch of football over the weekend. It's back. Get rid of that Phillies hat, producer Evan, and get the Eagles gear out. Get the football gear ready to go. It is football season. It is that time of year, and before you know it, it is going to be week 1, and we are going to be getting you ready for Cardinals Saints to open up the 2025 calendar. And today, pretty important day, 28th birthday for the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, entering his 7th year as the man under center for the Arizona Cardinals. And all of us want to know, is this going to be the year? We asked the question last year, asked the question the first couple of years of Kyler Murray's career. Is this going to be the year that he takes this team to the next level? That he takes this team to the postseason. That he breaks through and answers the call. Because if not, we know what next summer is going to sound like. We know what next summer is going to look like. Because after 7 years, if we're still left wondering if the Cardinals have a franchise quarterback, then they don't have a franchise quarterback. Some would argue, and I would subscribe to this argument, that if after 6 years, 5 years after their rookie contract, if you don't know if that quarterback is a franchise quarterback, then the answer is probably no. But this regime, this coach, this GM, they didn't ink the deal with Kyler Murray. They didn't sign him to the extension. Very prohibitive in the first couple years, the maneuverability, the ways to get out of the deal. It starts to free itself up at the end of this season. So we always were going to see it through this point. We were always going to see it through the 2025 campaign. And so here we are. That campaign right around the corner. So is it going to be the year for Kyler? And I think the way that I want to do this is I want to look at the stats that Kyler has had over the last couple of years, mainly the full seasons or mostly full seasons that he has played, and ask this question. Because I think we would all agree. I know this is the way that I feel about this team going into 2025. This is the most complete team that Kyler Murray has had under center. Both sides of the ball. The most support that he's had on offense. The best protection that he's had up front. Do I need to remind everybody that in 2019, his rookie campaign got sacked the most in football, 48 times? The best offensive line he's been in front of. The best supporting cast that he has had. I would argue the best coaching staff that he has had in his entire career, and a defense that was beefed up. So there's no excuses. There's no, oh, well, we didn't have this, or, oh, the coaching. None of it. None of it exists. So I'm going to ask notorious Kyler Murray hater, producer Evan, this question.
Whoa. Notorious Kyler Murray hater.
You are a hater of the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals.
No, I wouldn't say that.
You're not a fan.
Wouldn't say that either.
You are.
I would just say 6 years in, the biggest games, he's come up small.
So, again, not a fan of Kyler Murray. Hater. There's nothing wrong with that. You got to own up it. You got to own up to it.
I just don't think, like, there are other athletes I'm a hater of. Kyler is not on the list.
You are not a fan.
But I wouldn't call myself a fan.
Okay. So I think you're a good gauge of this. Because with what we know about this team, what we think we know about this team is maybe a better way to describe it. If Kyler Murray threw for 26 touchdowns, 3,971 yards, turned the ball over 12 times interception-wise, completed 67% of his passes, and oh, by the way, rushed for, let me get the numbers correct here, rushed for another 819 yards on the ground and 11 touchdowns. 37 total touchdowns.
So he threw 26, had 11 on the ground.
12 interceptions, completed 67% of his passes, combined total yardage well over 4,500 yards. Would those be the stats of a quarterback that's going to play well enough for the Cardinals to make the postseason?
Yeah, admittedly, I would like those picks to come down maybe two more.
Let me tell you.
If I can get that in single digits.
Let me tell you what's not going to happen for Kyler Murray.
They're not going to be in single digits.
He's not going to throw single digits. The 2 years he has thrown single digits interceptions were 23 when he played in only 8 games. He threw 5. And in 2021, where in 11 games, he threw 7. Every other year is double-digit interceptions. Comes with the territory.
So
don't make him something he's not.
No, I know. That team makes the playoffs.
That's more of a message to the fan base.
But it's 3,700 yards is, how does it look? Or 37 total touchdowns, how does it look? 4,500 yards. That's a great number. But part of it is the eye test.
Those were his numbers in 2020. last year, he rushed for 572 yards on the ground. He rushed for 5 touchdowns, in addition to throwing 21 touchdowns and throwing for 3,800 yards. So around 4,400 yards, 26 total touchdowns, and 11 interceptions.
But what about a player who would throw 3,000 yards, throw 26 touchdowns, and completed 67% of his passes? That's a very similar player. To me, that's Russell Wilson, right? That's what he did in Denver. So it is about how it looks.
Of course.
The numbers don't jump out as bad for you with Russell Wilson, but you watch the game, you're like, oh my God, he can't play right now.
Right, but Kyler Murray, in every year that he's been healthy, right, and has played at least 14 games, he's thrown for 3,700 yards as the floor. He's a 4,000-yard passer. He's going to throw you 20 touchdowns, 25 touchdowns. He's going to add a bunch on the ground. Look, the turnovers are going to be what the turnovers are going to be. He's not going to all of a sudden throw 3-4 interceptions in a season, okay? Don't make him something he's not. If you want to hold Kyler Murray to a standard this year of they got to make the postseason, he's got to play better. He's got to win meaningful games in November, December. He's got to play meaningful games against the division. I'm with you. I'm all for that. Those are areas of improvement for Kyler Murray. He's got to play better as the season goes on. He has to particularly play better against the Rams, against the 49ers, against the Seahawks. The 2 games that he played against Seattle post the bye week last season were 2 of the worst games he played all of last year, in a year where he threw for 21 touchdowns, nearly had 3,900 passing yards, 11 picks, a year that statistically we would say is fine enough, good enough to be a postseason team. They went 8-9. Why? Because 2 of those games came against Seattle, and that was the difference. So he's got to play better against those teams. But don't say that Kyler Murray's got to limit the turnovers and only throw 4 or 5. That's just not who he is as a player. And if those are the standards that you're holding him to, he's not going to meet those standards.
Not saying that he needs to throw 4 or 5 picks. Just saying 12, we're going to turn the ball over 12 times. It's not a small number for a team that leaned heavily on the run game last year, for a team that passing fell secondary, and our quarterback's still going to turn the ball over 12 times?
Well, those are interceptions. How many fumbles did he have? Probably had a couple of fumbles. He had 8 fumbles last year.
So 20 total turnovers.
Had 7 the year before in 23. He had 7 fumbles in 8 games, along with the 5. He had 12 turnovers in 8 games. The turnovers are a problem. And it's the timeliness of the turnovers. It's when the turnovers happen, right?
I don't mind, a third down arm punt. Not all the picks tell the story.
Correct.
Right?
It's not the actual number. It's when they're happening. Are we driving in the fourth quarter down a touchdown or down a field goal?
And we throw one there?
That one should count as 3, right? Statistically speaking, because it's actually worse. Not all interceptions are the same, just like not all touchdowns are the same. You take a team on a fourth quarter game-winning drive and you throw a touchdown, that touchdown should count for 3 or 4 touchdowns. Now, last year, he had 3 game-winning drives, and he had 3 fourth-quarter comebacks. The 3 fourth-quarter comebacks were the most he had in a season since 2020. And the 3 game-winning drives are the second most in his career. He had 4 game-winning drives in 2020. And game-winning drives, as listed here on Pro Football Reference, are an offensive scoring drive in the fourth quarter or overtime that puts the winning team ahead for the last time. So he did that last year. He's just got to do more of it, and he's got to do it in those moments where he's playing the 49ers, when he's playing the Rams, when he's playing the Seahawks, those divisional games that we all in our head, they just matter more to us.
And I'll give him credit. I mean, they swept the Niners last year.
Yep.
They took 1 from the Rams, and the Rams were down and out.
They should have beat Seattle twice.
And if you just beat Seattle twice,
well, they should have beat
if you
Seattle
take
once.
If you take Seattle at home.
And you want to know the game in particular that stands out to me from last season? And if you can filibuster for me for a second, because I want to pull it up. It was the game that they played at home. It was December 8th. They lost 30-18 in Seattle. And if I remember the way it went correctly, it was the first 2 drives of the game for the Cardinals. Or it was early on in the game, back-to-back drives, where Kyler had turnovers. that just completely ended the game.
I think if I'm right, he throws a pick in there that's bad. Really, really bad. And then I'll tell you the game that they played in Seattle, too, they were just stagnant offensively.
Came out in the second.
Completely stagnant.
Came out in the second half. Had a chance where I think it would have been just a field goal. Maybe it was a touchdown. Where if Kyler, and he was leading them down the field, they were in Seattle territory. Bad turnover ended their chance in that game. And their offense in the first half was brutal. It was bad. They couldn't do anything offensively, yet their defense played so well. They were in the game with the ball in the second half with a chance to take the lead, and they gave it away. But yes, that game in Arizona, the game here, they scored a touchdown on their first drive, 6 plays, 70 yards, and then it was interception on the next 2 drives, taking 1 minute and 51 seconds off the clock. They went -9 yards interception, 1 net yard interception. That's how their second drives played out.
And those are the ones we're talking about.
Those are the ones that you just can't have. Those are the ones where instead of them happening there, we're up 24-10 and you just throw a pick. I can live with that one. I can't live with those in that spot. I can't live with back-to-back interceptions at home against your division rival where, let's face it, the season was kind of teetering at that point. They had already lost up in Seattle. This was supposed to be the revenge game. Didn't happen.
It was
I'm pulling up the drives from the
It was a season full of missed opportunities. And that's what's so killer about it. Is because last year it felt like they were playing above what they were, and they would just kind of throw it away at times. And I think that's the knock on Murray. It's the numbers look good at times, and he's going to play some great games. But he's also going to have those bad moments, right? You can't turn the ball over twice playing a division rival coming out of half. You just can't do it.
First game against Seattle last season, and I remembered it exactly the way that I thought it went down. 7-3. The Cardinals get the ball. They hold the defense once again after allowing just 7 points in the first half. The Cardinals have the ball, 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. This is the way the drive went. Kyler passed to Trey for 13 yards. Holding brings him back. Pass to McBride for 11. Pass to McBride for 18. We're at the Seattle 49. Trey Benson for 7. James Conner up the middle for 2. We're at the Seattle 40. It's 4th and 1, 7 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the game. If we go on this drive, we have a chance to take the lead. A touchdown gives us the lead in a game we have no business winning. Kyler throws an interception. Kobe Bryant takes it 69 yards, pick 6. It's 13-3. Game was over at that point. A 2-possession game with the way the offense was playing, with the way Seattle defense was playing. It was over. Those are the interceptions we're talking about. But again, I still think there is a player in Kyler Murray that can win enough football games and play well enough and be more consistent enough to where those interceptions don't happen. Where those interceptions, he may throw 11 or 12 picks, but they're not coming in that spot.
It's not about how many turnovers there are, and sometimes it is, but it's about when you do them. Right? What I remember specifically was, do you remember Carson Wentz's first season in Indianapolis? Yeah. He really didn't turn the ball over much. I don't know exactly what the numbers are, and I'll pull them up, but it felt like any time they were in a need-to-win moment, he was going to turn the ball over. And he had a good year. He had a solid year by numbers. But it's that same kind of feeling. He turned the ball over he had 7 picks. It felt like all of them were in the fourth quarter. I don't know the numbers on that.
It's when you throw them. It's in what spots you throw them in. Like 7-3, a game you have no business being in because of the way your offense performed in the first half, but your defense threw you a lifeline, and you're driving. You're just hitting Trey McBride. 4th and 1. All we need is a couple yards. We try to force it to Michael Wilson. Pick 6, going the other way. Now, before we get out of here, before we end this segment, some news on the Cardinals front. They have officially re-signed guard Will Hernandez. He's going to begin on the PUP list as he gets back to action. But the guy who was their starting right guard a year ago now joins the fold there and is back with the Arizona Cardinals. And that, at least, I know right guard and the right side of the offensive line has been a question mark for me a lot in training camp. Will Hernandez officially being back in the fold gives you an insurance policy if Isaiah Adams isn't up to par, because you have the guy that played right guard for you last season. So a really good signing, and good to see Will Hernandez back with the Cardinals. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Speaking of quarterbacks, we continue to power rank the NFC West. Yesterday, it was the coaches. Today, we look at the quarterbacks. That's next on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Class is back in session, and so is Phoenix Rising. Celebrate the start of the school year on Saturday, August 23rd at 7:30 p.m. as Phoenix Rising takes on Colorado Springs in the back-to-school match. It's a night for students, families, and fans of all ages to come together and kick off the new season in style. Tickets start at just $15. Grab yours now at phxrisingfc.com. New school year, same rising energy.
Hosier presents the Unreal Unearthed Tour 2025, live in Phoenix. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, October 7th, with special guest Amble. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The #1 album, Unreal Unearthed, is available everywhere. For more, visit hosier.com.
Every summer, across the valley, hundreds of our homeless neighbors die because of the heat. This is tragic, and it is preventable. None of us can stop the heat, but together we can save lives. With incredible partners like you, Phoenix Rescue Mission is able to provide life-saving water and critical care to our neighbors in need. Join us this summer and make a difference. Learn more at phoenixrescuemission.org/code red.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Matthew Stafford's dealing with a back injury, and yes, anytime your starting QB is hurting, it raises eyebrows. But the Rams have done a solid job insulating themselves against this kind of uncertainty. Stafford is signed for just 2 more years, which gives LA the flexibility it needs and the engine that drives Sean McVay's offense. He's far from the only weapon because you have Puka Nacua. Devontae Adams, still one of the best route runners in the game. Kyron Williams just got locked up with a new contract. And then there's Jimmy Garoppolo, arguably the best backup quarterback in the league, ready to step in if needed. And defensively, Jared Verse already looks like a difference maker. Stafford's injury is worth monitoring, but it's nothing new. The former #1 pick has played through pain before and played well. Until he starts missing meaningful games, there's no reason to hit the panic button just yet in Los Angeles, because for now, the Rams are prepared and very, very much in the mix. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Pickleball is the fastest growing court sport in the world, and no one makes playing pickleball safer, more comfortable, and quicker on your feet than Tyrell. Tyrell is the first purpose-built shoe made specifically for playing pickleball. Tyrell shoes are made with the famous Vibram outsole. Remember, Tyrol. If you want to elevate your game, you want to play longer, more comfortably, go to TyrellPickleball.com and experience how Tyrell can help your game while making you look like a real pro.
Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that touches the road. Tread confidently with new tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you want, Tire Rack makes it really easy. Fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, convenient installation options, and the best selection of Falken tires. Go to TireRack.com/Dan, see their Falken test results, tire ratings, and reviews, and be sure to check out all the special offers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
It was yesterday. We started going position by position in the NFC West, ranking the teams 1 through 4 in the hopes of, when we're all done here, to have a numerical grade that we can give to all of these teams and definitively say on paper who is the best team in the NFC West going into the start of the year. You want to be ranked towards the top. You want to get just 1 point. This is a golf scoring system. Lowest points wins. So yesterday we did the coaches, and we had it Rams, 49ers, Cardinals, Seahawks. So the Rams lead things right now with 1 point, 49ers 2. You get the drift. Cardinals 3, Seahawks 4. So today it's the quarterbacks. Now the way we are choosing to do this is I have a list. Producer Evan has the list. Yesterday, we had the same list, so we didn't have to do any math. But we will take the average of our rankings and determine how this breaks down for the quarterbacks. Producer Evan, I think we are going to agree on one team. Do you also have the Los Angeles Rams and Matthew Stafford at number 1?
If healthy, which I put in parentheses,
yes,
Matthew Stafford and the Rams are number 1.
We're going to assume health for the sake of this conversation. They have Jimmy G as their backup. I like Jimmy G as a backup quarterback. So we have the Rams at number 1. Now, I will tell you, I'm going to show this to producer Evan. I have your list on the right. I have my list on the left. As you see, my list, I'll show this to the YouTube audience. My list doesn't have any names on it because I'm debating on doing something a little bold. I'm debating on putting a certain team number 2 that probably nobody wants to put at number 2. I'm considering putting the Cardinals number 2 on this list. I'm considering putting Kyler Murray and Jacoby Brissett in the quarterback room in front of the other 2 teams in the division.
So, okay, then let's skip around the 4 here.
I think 4 is Seattle.
I think we're both going to take Seattle at 4.
Seattle is 4.
And I like Darnold.
I do, but new system. I don't know what it's going to look like. I do think there's a step backwards from the year that he had last year. I don't think he can repeat that.
Given he is one of the best coaches in football, now he doesn't.
I am putting them 4. So this is between San Francisco and Arizona. This is between Brock Purdy and Kyler Murray. Which starter would you rather have?
I think I'd rather have Purdy.
And I think I'd rather have Kyler. I'm willing to be convinced, though. It's not set in stone.
And it's no other reason than Purdy's done it. And I know he has better rosters, but Brock Purdy went to an NFC championship.
Went to a Super Bowl.
In a game which he got hurt, got off the floor, and went the next year to the Super Bowl. So there is credit to be deserved there. Certainly, he needs to be given his flowers on that. And for that reason alone, I think I take Brock Purdy. Do I think Kyler does more for an offense? He can create more, probably has a stronger arm. All of those things, yes. I think Brock probably throws with better anticipation. I think that he has more accuracy, especially down the field. I like Brock in a have to win one game scenario.
Well, and this goes back to what we were talking about in the last segment, is that Kyler has to win those big games so that isn't a knock on him. And it is a knock on him. It is the thing that, for me, hurts him the most in this conversation, is Brock has a better resume when it comes to winning those games. However much of the credit you want to put on him, right? Because you can give credit to the defense, you can give credit to Shanahan, the scheme, the other players on the offense. There is a bunch of praise to go around. And I don't know how much of the credit you want to give to Brock, but he does have those marquee moments that, let's face it, Kyler doesn't have. So if this was just a resume test, it's San Francisco too. Is this just a resume test, though? Is that how we're supposed to look at this going into the season? It might be. It might not be the overall talent level, because I think Kyler's more talented than Brock.
And I don't think we would have an argument there. I think Kyler Murray is more talented. It's just, I think the conversation comes back to who's the better quarterback. Give me one player to win the game.
One drive, got to win it. I'm taking quarterback. Stafford, obviously, number one, because he did it in the Super Bowl. So, all right, you've convinced me. I'll go San Francisco too.
And I just think that's how the list comes down to.
Oh, 100%.
When you're ranking quarterbacks, not what they've done, but what we think they are.
Right.
It's give me this year with the team they're currently on. Give me one drive. Who do I think has a better chance to win the game? I think it's San Fran.
Yeah. Okay. If that's the lens we're going to look at it through, and I don't disagree with looking at it through that lens, then Brock has a better resume in that regard. And if this was one drive, got to have it, need to win a football game, I think this order of Stafford, Purdy, Kyler, Darnold is a fair order.
I think that's the way it shapes up.
Yeah. Okay. So far through two lists, through the coach and through the quarterback, the four teams have been in the same spot for 2 days. Because yesterday it was McVay.
Makes sense, right? When you're ranking coaches and quarterbacks. I think it's going to change over the next few days with some of these other position
I
groups.
mean, I can tell you right now, when we get to tight end, the Cardinals will not be third.
No. And that'll be an interesting conversation.
I already know what I'm doing there, and I will not be bullied into another opinion.
I guarantee you we have the same opinion.
We'll save that. We'll save that for probably early next week. Tomorrow we'll do wide receivers. So wide receivers are up next. That one may look similar to this one.
That one's going to be interesting because I actually like Seattle's receiver room.
Let's not do the show before the show. I do think tomorrow's wide receiver conversation will be interesting. But through 2 days, coaching and quarterbacks, the way we see the NFC West, Rams still in first, 49ers 2, Cardinals 3, Seahawks 4. And again, this is going to, I think, validate our opinion of the rest of the Cardinals are really, really good. The question comes back to the quarterback. I think that's the way this is going to play out here over the next couple of days as we do this process. So through 2 days, Rams 1, 49ers 2, Cardinals 3, Seahawks 4 in our power rankings of the NFC West. We'll do wide receivers coming up tomorrow. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Brian over there says that I should be placed in concussion protocol of taking Kyler over Brock Purdy. I didn't ultimately get there. We talked it out. But from a pure talent perspective, I would take Kyler over Brock. Talent-wise. Results-wise, resume-wise, yeah, Purdy has the better results and the better resume so far in his career. When we come back, ASU football right around the corner. So what's more likely? A follow-up campaign to last season or a letdown? That's next on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
ADOT presents Terrifying Jobs.
Bull Rider, take 2.
Today we're talking with Clifford Maxwell, a rodeo bullfighter. His job? Distract raging bulls from going after thrown riders.
Cliff, this seems like a
Really terrifying job. Why do you do it?
I love protecting the bull riders when they get bucked off.
How big are these bulls?
12 to 2,200 pounds of pure muscle.
You're not cowed by any of this, obviously. Is there anything that scares you?
Yeah. Distracted drivers terrify me.
This message is brought to you by ADOT, the ABA, and this station.
Breaking Benjamin. And 3 Days Grace. Live. October 8th at Desert Diamond Arena with special guest Return to Dust. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Don't miss Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace, presented by the Big Red Radio.
I'm Kimberly.
I'm Ken.
And we're the Owens family.
I love living next to my parents because when we live 10 minutes from them, sometimes I would dread a phone call coming because I wouldn't know if my mom was like, okay, your dad fell. He needs help. Can you get here right away? Now, since they're right next door, if anything happens, I can be there within a matter of minutes.
Photo home communities are wonderful. It's a very comforting feeling. It's kind of seems to be a sense of family, which I think everybody wants. And so, when you have that opportunity to live in a situation like that, it's everything.
We're always trying to get our friends and families to move over here. We would recommend Fulton Homes to our friends and our family. And we have recommended Fulton Homes to our friends and our family.
Fulton Homes. You're proud to own, we're proud to build.
Did you catch Luisito's header?
Yeah, I just recorded it on my new Samsung A36 5G phone I got for free at Total Wireless.
Oh, I'm actually live streaming the whole match with my new Samsung Tab A9 that I also got free at Total Wireless.
I got that tablet too.
And I got that phone too. We both got both.
Go!
Switch to Total Wireless and get both the Samsung A36 5G and the Samsung Tab A9 for free. For a limited time while supplies last, valid in store. Requires new phone activation on the Total 5G Unlimited plan or higher external port and ID verification and new activation on the Total 5G Unlimited 6-month tablet plan. Restrictions apply.
At Cox, we're always a step ahead, like your dog who barks before the doorbell rings. Senses trouble before there's trouble, like advanced security that blocks online threats before they happen and knows when the peanut butter's hiding medicine. That's why we keep surprises off your bill. With Price Lock, the price of your internet and mobile plan won't go up for up to 3 years guaranteed. Rates are Berkalot. Cox, a step ahead. Requires at least 500 megabits per second speeds and gig unlimited mobile. Taxes and fees excluded from Price Lock. Mobile data speeds reduced after 20 gigs.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I think it's fair to say most of us are very much looking forward to the beginning of the college football season later on this month. I would say that 100% of this program is ready for the ASU football season to get underway. We have been previewing it a lot as of late, talking about the expectations that surround this program going into 2025. So when I logged on to ESPN this morning and I saw a story that said ranking all 136 FBS teams in tiers, you betcha I clicked on it. I had to know where they put ASU. And so the tier that ASU found themselves in, tier number 4, titled Last Year's Playoff Surprises. So it's ASU, it's Boise State, it's Indiana, it's SMU. It's the 4 teams who shocked the college football world and made it into the CFP in the new expanded 12-team era. And that got me thinking. And the last paragraph in particular got me thinking. Quote, life moves quickly in college football these days. The big question as this foursome looks to return to the college football playoff is whether the pendulum swings just as fast in the other direction. So that led to the question that I posed before the break. What's more likely? Is it more likely that Kenny Dillingham and ASU can have a follow-up campaign to winning the Big 12, making it to the college football playoff, being one defensive stop away from beating Texas and moving on to the next round of the college football playoff? Or is it more likely that it is going to be a letdown, that there's going to be disappointment? And if we're being honest with each other, if we're looking at this objectively, it's more likely that there's a letdown coming from Arizona State. History tells you that this team, when expectations are placed on them, don't meet those expectations. College football is a very swingy sport. It's more likely that another team in the Big 12 goes on an ASU-type run and shocks the conference and goes to the Big 12 championship game, maybe wins the Big 12 championship game, is participating in the college football playoff. Then there is that ASU is going to repeat exactly what they did a year ago, be a double-digit win team, make the Big 12 championship again, win the Big 12 title again, go back to the college football playoff. It's just more likely that they win 9 games and don't go to the Big 12 championship game. And they play in a good bowl game, but they don't repeat the success that they had a year ago. It's just the more likely outcome. I'm sorry, Producer Evan.
What are we considering not like a disappointment? If they win 9 games and fall 1 game short of the Big 12 championship game, is that a disappointment?
They have to be playing in the Big 12 championship game for this season to not be a disappointment.
Yeah, if they lose in the Big 12 championship game.
I think you can tell yourself that it was a successful season and it was a good follow-up campaign. The reigning, defending Big 12 champions played well enough for a second straight year to go back. And if they lose a close game in the Big 12 title, they almost repeated as Big 12 champs.
If we're considering that a successful year, I think it's 50-50. I think it's just as likely they go to the Big 12 championship game.
It's college football, man. Nobody picked this team to win last year.
It's college football, but it's the Big 12. It's not. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not. You are the team to beat. You are the best quarterback in the conference. You are the best receiver in the conference. You have what I believe is, if not the best coach, a top 3 head coach in the conference.
We would agree.
There's a pathway and a schedule for this team to make it.
You say that, and I largely agree with you. Saturday, September 6th at Mississippi State's going to be the game, right? That's the game. That's the game that everybody circles. If they go into an SEC school and they beat Mississippi State in their first true test of the year, because they play NAU the week prior.
That'll be the first one we circle.
That's the first one you circle. And if they win that game, then guess what? I would agree with you. The odds start to shift towards a follow-up campaigns in the cards.
And let me ask you this. Are they favorites against NAU?
They are favorites against NAU.
How about Mississippi State?
They are favorites against Mississippi State.
How about Texas State?
They're favored in Texas State.
How about Baylor, TCU, Utah, Texas Tech, Houston, Iowa State, West Virginia, Colorado, and Arizona?
In fact, according to one model, they are one of 5 teams in college football favored in every game they play this season.
Doesn't that say it?
Do we really think, honestly, that
And I think they're going to lose 2 games probably this year. I think they're going to be 10-2. I think they lose at Utah. I think that's a tough place to play. That'll probably be a night game. I think Utah's going to be solid again. Just can't bet on a Kyle Whittingham program to be held down 2 years in a row.
I would also circle Iowa State. Little revenge in Iowa State.
Little revenge at Iowa State. Those are the 2 games.
Now, do we honestly think ASU is going to be favored on the road at Mississippi State? I mean, they are.
Yes, I do.
The coaches poll just had them number 11. So, yeah, they're probably going to be favored on the road.
I do think they'll be favored at Mississippi State. Mississippi State was bad last year.
There's a real decent chance that they're 5-0 going into that game against Utah on October 11th. And depending on the way the college football world plays out, they're a top 8 team.
I think they could be ranked 8 by the time they play Utah. They'd be ranked 5 if the schedules fall right.
Right.
And I'm just saying, like, look at some of the week 1 games in college football.
You're going to have some movement. Although I think rightfully so, voters don't penalize early in the season when they do the coaches polls and the AP poll. You don't get penalized for losing that game.
Yes.
Like you don't get harshly penalized for scheduling a real tough game and playing it, right? Like Texas is going to play Ohio State.
And I'm not, but by the way, they're not going to pass one of those teams.
What I'm saying is Texas and Ohio State, the loser of that game is not going to be punished and move down 7 spots because they lost.
No. But there are some other games where you're looking at it and going, okay, you could climb there.
Coaches poll has them ranked 11th. So the coaches poll is saying, hey, it's more likely follow up than letdown. But remember, this team was not ranked at all last year, right? It wasn't until late in the season when they started to get representation from the college football playoff. I just think if we're being honest, there are more things that can go wrong for them, right? A follow-up campaign demands almost perfection. No? Demands almost perfection. Whereas a letdown just requires 1 or 2 things to go against that. So just from a likelihood perspective, it's more likely that they have a letdown. Would I predict right now a letdown? No, I would predict them to win the Big 12. That's how talented I think they are. That's how set I think they are at coaching quarterback. But if we're being honest, it's college football. Weird stuff happens on a weekly basis. All it takes is 1 or 2 weird things to happen for ASU to all of a sudden not be playing in the Big 12 title game. And that repeat season isn't there. So hence why they're not in a higher tier in that story that I referenced. And the question is it sustainable? And to me, we've talked about this all summer long. For this team to show that they are the sleeping giant that everybody thinks they are, and they're ready to take that next step into a different tier of college football, it is going to require this follow-up season. You have to win. You have to win. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, wrapping up this edition, the Thursday edition of the lunch break, we've got the leftovers, all the stories that we didn't get to throughout the course of the show. We'll get to them next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Phoenix, are you ready to ascend? Bring me the horizon. USA Ascension Program Part 1.
Every sky will build, my friend.
Taking over Footprint Center, October 2nd, with special guest
Crawling from hell.
Motionless in White, The Plot in You, and Amira El Fiki. On sale now at livenation.com. Bring me the horizon. Presented by the Big Red Radio.
Owner of Moxie Pest Control. You know, most pest control companies use the same products we do. That's not the difference. But what is the difference is how we treat people. At Moxie, kindness counts, and it shows in every visit, every conversation, and every one of the 6,500 plus 5-star Google reviews our customers have written. Our field experts aren't just trained to handle pests. They're trained to treat your home, your family, your pets, and your time with the kind of respect you deserve. And our services come with a pest-free guarantee. Our methods and service just work better because our people are better. So if you want a pest control company you can trust in and around your home, give us a call. We offer same-day services in most cases, and we'll even give you 50% off your first service when you call. Call 888-MOXIE-10. That's 888-MOXIE-10. Moxie Pest Control, the highest and most reviewed pest control company in Arizona.
There are a million reasons to smile, a million reasons to laugh. And now the Arizona Lottery is giving you a million reasons to play. Because when you play Strike It Rich, all cash or any scratchers worth $10 or more, you can enter the $1 million Mega Market giveaway for a chance to win an all-expense paid Las Vegas vacation and up to $1 million. Learn more at ArizonaLottery.com. Arizona Lottery. Love the play.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. Appreciate you joining us here today on the show. Got one more before we hand things off to Jim Rome at the top of the hour. We call it the leftovers. All of the stories that we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. Producer Evan has them. I don't know what's coming. I probably stole a little bit of his thunder earlier with the Will Hernandez story.
A little bit.
But I'm sure you had other options. Because Will Hernandez didn't sign to the middle of the show, and the leftovers was being put together as the show was going on. So I'm sure there were other stories available to you.
Of course.
Okay,
of course, we're ready to go.
And then take it away.
Shohei Ohtani has recorded his 1,000th career hit. He did it yesterday with a home run.
I was more impressed at the 100-mile-an-hour fastball he threw inside for strike 3.
Which was also impressive. He struck out 8, by the way, on the day he recorded his 1,000th hit.
He's pretty good at baseball.
He's pretty good at baseball.
Yeah, he's not bad at this.
It is, and yeah, I don't want to be this guy. It's so annoying he's on the Dodgers.
Of course it is.
I don't want to be a hater.
No, please.
It's
annoying.
So annoying he's a Dodger.
How about this? I have a better word for you. It's obnoxious.
It's so obnoxious.
Because there's part of you. Now, he's so good and he's so special that this doesn't impact it. But because he's a Dodger, it almost sometimes takes away from his greatness. He's so great that it doesn't. But boy,
no, it does. No, I just want to say it does.
No, it doesn't. I tried to let it bother me. Truthfully, I tried to let it get under my skin, and he's just too good.
It's so annoying. Their actual whole team is, because I don't want them to win.
Well, let me let you in a little bit of a secret. They already did win. So.
I like Mookie and Freddie and all those guys so much. Like, they just seem like awesome guys.
They are.
Awesome dudes. They got a good squad of guys over there.
Ohtani is...
great baseball players as well.
Ohtani is great. We should not take it for granted what he is doing. We should enjoy it every single time he's on the mound or in the batter's box because it is special. It is very, very special.
Really is. So, little update. Yesterday, I told you the story. Players can't use smelling salts.
So
that's false.
Yeah, that's not true, and it's not producer Evan's fault.
No.
There was an update to the reporting on this.
I want to be very clear. I didn't make a mistake. The national media made a mistake.
So apparently, teams just can't give the players.
Yes, so teams can't provide smelling salts. You can still use them.
So
just bring them in the building yourself.
So George Kittle, it's okay. Just relax, buddy. Everything's fine.
And I don't want to do the show before the show, but it's not going to move him up or down on my tight end
Smelling
rankings.
salts being available or not available to George Kittle had nothing to do with my ultimate tight end ranking when we do that next week.
Fox Sports wrote a story this morning. Which 10 NFL rookies are set to make the biggest impact for their team?
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward is 2.
Cam Ward is 2. Oh, Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter is 3.
The guy who plays on both sides of the ball is not number one on a list of rookies who can have the biggest impact on their team. He's going to play two positions.
Yes, I know that is insane.
Ashton Genty, number one.
Ashton Genty is number one.
Get out of here with this list.
Number 4 is Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
Number 5 is Matthew Golden.
I mean,
which I actually agree with.
Now, this program in particular was a big stand for Matthew Golden in the draft process. So you're not going to get any complaints here.
They need a number 1 so bad.
I don't know if they need a number 1. They just need another option. I know that's kind of a semantics argument, but I don't think they need a number 1 in that offense. They've got guys that are talented.
They do. Doesn't it feel like last year they were all banged up by the time they got to playoffs? It was really, really shell of themselves offensively.
Talent-wise.
Talent-wise.
Christian Watson is a number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, he just hasn't put it together, though.
Right, but he's shown flashes.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't know if they need a 1. Like, if he's healthy, then I think they just need a 2. And Dobbs is solid.
No, they have players I like.
Yeah, I don't know if they need a number 1.
I like Reed.
I like Jaden Reed.
I like Reed a lot.
He was a cheat code last year in fantasy. I picked him up in the middle of the season. Just a cheat code. Also a cheat code betting on him yards-wise.
It felt like once a game he was running free.
The number was always too low. Like he was just a lock every week to hit his number.
I can't imagine they'll let that happen again.
No. The adjustment, we'll have to find a new Jaden Reed for this season.
Number 6 is Tedditor McMillan.
T-Mac, yeah.
Makes sense.
That
offense is going to be interesting.
They need a number 1 wide receiver.
They need a lot.
Well, but they need a number 1 wide receiver.
I was high on Carolina last year. High on them, I took their over total.
How'd that work out for you?
It hit.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you to Bryce Young in the overtime game in Atlanta.
Oh, man.
That hit the over.
Oh, man.
And if you weren't glued to the TV for Panthers-Falcons.
Late in the season when it didn't matter. Well, it kind of mattered for Atlanta.
Yeah.
They were still playing for something.
It was awesome. So Carolina is an interesting team. They're going to put it together here soon enough. With Bryce Young at the helm.
Yeah, see, that's where you lose me. I don't know if they have the guy under center.
They do. Mason Graham, number 7, the Cleveland Browns. Number 8, Will Campbell. Number 9, Malachi Starks, Baltimore Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
They need a lot of help in that area. Their secondary was bad last year.
It was banged up a little bit, too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Stark's a good player.
Number 10, Omarion Hampton.
Another running back, yeah. They had Will Campbell on this list.
They did at 8.
I mean, I get it, but it's an offensive lineman.
It is, but I will tell you, I think it was by metrics last year that they were the worst team at protecting the quarterback and making plays after the catch.
Okay, so then, yeah, you can put them on the list then.
Yeah.
They need to protect Drake May.
It was really bad.
Because May was good last year in spite of
what that happened.
Their struggles to protect him. So, yeah, okay, I get that.
Also, did you see, speaking of May and him being good, and Joe Milton is the biggest practice player of all time. My Twitter feed is him making throws at Cowboys practice all day.
The only thing I saw yesterday New England related was Mike Vrabel had to get in the middle of a little
I didn't see that.
Scuffle, apparently. Unless I got by the internet, which is certainly possible. I thought I saw that Mike Vrabel had to separate an altercation and came out with a bloody cheek. Out of every coach in the NFL, he's the one guy that I would just assume probably got excited at the idea of going into the scuffle and breaking it up.
The only coach that you were like, oh, Dan Campbell.
Yeah, Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell loves a good scrap.
He does. He does. Yeah. Bleacher Report wrote a story this morning ranking the 12 most watchable teams for the final 2 months.
Hold on. Top 5 coaches that you could see wanting to get involved in a tussle. Like at camp, they just love breaking up a fight. Dan Campbell, Mike Vrabel,
Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, not because
not John, just Jim.
No, and not because of toughness, but because he's a crazy person.
Yes.
Now, does that craziness extend to Pete Carroll?
Not at his age.
It's fair enough. Fair enough.
I think given his age.
It's not like Jim's young either.
Yes, but he just, like, I don't know. Pete feels more put together at times than Jim.
Trying to go through the teams real
Jim's
quick.
press conference of
Aaron Glenn,
of guys who love football, is my favorite. Aaron Glenn, I could see.
Mike McDaniel in Miami. Again, that's just more of a craziness thing.
Yeah, I don't know though. He's a strange bird.
He is a interesting guy. Yes,
he is a strange bird.
His media availability is interesting in many ways. He gives a lot of great insight and talks a lot of strategic football, but you kind of have to get yourself through some of the weirdness and awkwardness that comes with Mike McDaniel meeting with the media.
They're watching their offense when they're clicking is
it's great. I mean,
pretty fun.
He's a genius. When they're all healthy and everything's clicking, man, it's so smooth to watch.
D'Amico Ryans
is another good one. Yeah, I don't know if there's anybody else that we're missing. That's going to do it for us here. Thursday edition of the program in the books. Jim Rome, he's coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.